All right, welcome back. Taking your phone calls, 412-575-2600. That is the number for the Bordas & Bordas hotline. Also taking your tweets at Josh Taylor HD. Gene, let's take a look and see what we're getting into this evening. We will start on the phone lines with Brad in Duncansville. Brad, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hi, Josh. How are you guys?
Good. How you doing?
Good. I have some Steeler questions for you.
You get one or two, man. 25-minute show. Let's go.
Okay. My question is about the tight end they got. Well, he would be the starter.
I would not expect that. I expect it would still be Jesse James. But you'll probably see a lot of Vance McDonald, maybe in some two tight end sets. That would be my expectation.
And the other thing is the Steelers are going to still hang on to Mike Mitchell.
Mike Mitchell has no reason to go anywhere. He's still the starting free safety on this team. No one else has been brought in to challenge his position. If anything, now if you want to try to figure out when he's going to be healthy again, I know he wants to play week 1, but whether or not he's going to be healthy to play in week 1 is probably the bigger question of the two.
And the Steelers going to get rid of Cockrell?
I would not anticipate that, and thanks for the call. I would imagine that Ross Cockrell now becomes a depth guy as opposed to a starter. Gene, your thoughts on this? What do you think happens as far as the quarterback?
I don't know. I think the Steelers will take a look at Joe Haden. I don't know if he's able to play tomorrow night or what, but I still expect Ross Cockrell to start there unless Joe Haden comes in and really impresses them, which I don't expect. I don't.
Even if it's, in my estimation, even if it's not an overnight thing, if he's not the overnight starter, since you mentioned he's just signing with the team and they have their final preseason game tomorrow, so it's hard to expect anything. But you also have, after that game, you have 9 days to get ready for Cleveland.
Right.
So maybe if he's not the number 1 guy going into Cleveland, maybe after week 1, maybe going into week 2, when he's had a week under his belt, maybe he becomes the guy then. Maybe that's the difference. Yeah. But to make that move this late in the preseason without a lot of time to prepare does kind of bring some snags in the plan, so to speak. Let's go to Chuck. Let's actually go to Mark in Scottsdale. Mark, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hey, how you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Good. I just had a couple comments about the Steelers' acquisitions today.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say now, whether these acquisitions work out or not, I just wanted to say that I think it still speaks volumes on the type of organization the Steelers are and the Penguins are, as versus to the Pirates organization. Whether these guys work out or not, just shows, the Steelers, hey, they're going to go out and they're going to bring in some guys and see if these guys are going to work, and what they need to get the teams to win, other than the Pirates, who don't seem to want to bring somebody in and help the team win. And that's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
I was waiting on that call. I was waiting on the Steelers to praise the Steelers to take a shot at the Pirates call. It happens every time. You got it early. Good for you. Let's talk about the acquisition in and of itself. Vance McDonald addressing a need that we both talked about, how it surprised both of us, that the Steelers thought they needed to upgrade there.
Right.
But they are actually in a position where they could actually add depth and do it effectively. Right. And let's not kid ourselves. These were things that happened because there were 2 other teams that wanted to get rid of these guys. They weren't just sitting out there. They weren't just floating. Cleveland had to want to get rid of Joe Haden to free up the salary cap room. The 49ers had to have a logjam on their roster to make that move from a position of strength to move a Vance McDonald. So you had to have 2 teams that were willing to get rid of those guys for the Steelers to go get them. Had they been sitting out on free agency, I don't know if it's the same story. But since you had guys that were willing to move them, and it didn't cost as much as far as what it took to get those guys, maybe that's why the deals happened.
Yeah, that's certainly a part of it and a big part of it. But, the point of the phone call, obviously, is that, the Steelers and Penguins do these things. The Pirates do not. Again, a different financial system, but again.
Much different financial system. It's a lot easier with a salary cap,
yeah,
right?
But again, you're right, they do.
It kind of just changes.
It's well established.
It changes the whole dynamic. Now let's go to Twitter here. We have a couple tweets kind of rolling in. We will start with. Let's start with Brian. He says, "This is the deepest Steelers team I've seen in years, except at the quarterback position. Ben stays healthy, and we have a great shot." Hard to argue with that assessment as far as the quarterback position goes. I don't know about any team in the NFL that is on that kind of level that loses their starter and still is a Super Bowl team. To be honest, there's maybe, 5 teams you look at, Gene, that you say, okay, these teams are Super Bowl teams. But if those teams lose their quarterbacks, they're probably not Super Bowl teams anymore.
Yeah, no, if you consider Landry Jones one of the better backups in the league, and I do, that tells you all you need to know about quarterback depth league-wide.
It's not easy to find.
Right. Now, this tweet about the Steelers' depth, is that with these acquisitions?
I would imagine it's with the acquisitions.
Okay. All right.
I would imagine that.
Otherwise, that was the reason for the acquisitions.
And I wouldn't disagree
Right.
after those acquisitions, because if you wanted to look at one position on either side of the ball that probably needed help, you'd say it was probably cornerback and tight end. That's probably the two, and they addressed them within 48 hours, so good on them. We'll take one more phone call before we go to break. Mary Kay in Munhall. Mary Kay, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hey, guys, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
How you doing?
Hey, good. Hey, I am so upset about this whole Pirate situation. I've been a lifelong Pirate fan, and I think not.
We lost Mary Kay.
Yeah.
What a shame. Thought we had her. All right, well, let's go to Chuck in the South Side. Chuck, you're in the Nightly Sports Call.
Hey, guys. I'm probably going to say the same thing she was going to say, I think. I've been a lifelong Pirate fan. I'm 65 years old. I just retired, and when I was 12 years old, I went to games, multiple games every year, Forbes Field, Three Rivers, and this year is the first year I didn't go to a Pirate game. It's not because of the money. It's the principle. If they're not going to be serious about contending all the time and raising the prices, I'm not going to spend my money and get on there. And I love the Pirates, and I wish they go the right direction, but I've had enough right now. I want to see something positive before I start going again.
Gene, have they raised the prices on tickets recently?
I don't know. I don't pay much attention to that, but there are a lot of people who have the same sentiment. A lot of people like you, really good, longtime Pirate fans, have stayed away this summer and started staying away last summer, and will stay away much more in the future if something doesn't change.
Might I provide a little bit of perspective to
Please,
people
sir.
like Chuck and Mary Kay and Gene, even a well-traveled gentleman as yourself? A little perspective. I'll be 36 in October. You know what I've never seen? The Pirates in the World Series. You know who's seen it? People like Mary Kay and Chuck and like Eugene. So
right.
It's not that I don't care how you feel about it, but
81.
1981. Yeah.
81.
So for those of you out there that have been fans for that long, get in line. We have never seen it. At least you've seen it. We haven't. There's more people that are frustrated at the front of the line here. They don't remember the glory days of this franchise. The closest that some of us in my age group remember are the early 90s, and that's the closest this team got that we saw before everything changed.
Good point.
Little perspective. Got to take a break. We'll be right back.